Are you a franchisor, whether early or established, looking for tips and tricks and fresh new ideas on taking your franchise company to the next level? I'm Angela Cote, and I call myself a franchise growth catalyst. I use my experience having grown up in the world of franchising, spending many years on the franchisor side of the franchise relationship, lots of time out in the field supporting franchisees, and then 18 years myself as a multi-unit franchisee. I'm super passionate about creating transformational impact to help franchise companies grow. If you are looking for ideas, we talk about anything from franchisee recruitment, how to find the best franchisees that are going to be the top performers in your brand, to how to support them to really optimize their output. We are more than open to hearing ideas and questions and suggestions. So reach out to me at angela@angelacote.com. Alrighty, let's get started with the Franchise Growth Catalyst podcast. Hello, everybody. Angela Cote here, and I'm back with another episode of the Franchise Growth Catalyst podcast, the podcast where franchisors can find unconventional yet practical advice on how to improve franchisee profitability, create exponential growth, and of course, make franchising fun. For today's episode, I am going to just be straight up with you and let you know that I almost didn't record this today because it is late in the day on Friday and it has been an incredibly busy week, which is awesome. But then I remembered one of the AC Inc. core values of action equals growth. And by that, we mean that by doing something that's better than, I'm not even talking very clearly right now, but that doing something is better than nothing. So stay with me. I just want to share a couple thoughts this week on something that is just getting more and more clear the more we work with emerging and early stage franchisors. And that is that there's a lot of noise out there, and there's a lot of people that make the emerging franchisors feel almost inferior or like that they're not on the right track because they're not doing certain things. And I just want to give emerging franchisors a reminder and maybe permission to go back to trusting your gut. You know, I see a lot of emerging franchisors that feel like they're not selling enough units if they don't match up to what everybody's talking about, or if they're not spending money on franchise marketing, they're never going to get there. Now, here's the thing I want to make really clear. There are definitely a lot of emerging franchisors, and I hate to sound negative, that aren't going to get there. And that's probably because they're not actually trusting their gut and they're not listening to the right people and people that they can trust. I know this is a tough conversation because it's like, well, who then can you trust? So again, I'm going to sort of go back to trusting your gut and think about what makes sense to you when you're making decisions to spend money. Now, I'm not in any way saying that the things that I'm about to talk about are not smart moves at a certain point. But for example, for an emerging franchisor to invest a lot of money in a portal doesn't necessarily make a lot of sense. And I'm even nervous just saying this because I don't want this to be an all or nothing kind of thing. But often they go straight to, these things that other franchisors that are further along are doing. And they miss out on things like really leveraging the customer base and client base that's already in their network. I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to invest money, but a lot of emerging franchisors are bootstrapping. And the first thing I would do if that was the situation for me is I would go and look through my network and see if there's, and not just once, but continuously, and see if there's people there that might be interested in getting on your mission with you to do whatever it is you're trying to do, especially if you've got some purpose to your mission. So that's just one example. So I feel like there's this thing that happens where they go from being like a confident business person, they decide to franchise their business. But once they start, they realize how big of a deal franchising is. And they start to hear all these franchise industry experts that often have a lot of ego, I will say, telling them, that they have to do this or do that. And they start to lose that faith in themselves and forget that they do have a lot of good business sense. The people that do best as emerging franchisors by trusting their gut are the people that have strong leadership and people skills. So if that's a gap area for you, all the more reason to get somebody on your team to help you, like bring in an advisor that you trust and really, really vet them and make sure that you trust them, but get somebody with outside expertise to help you with that leadership piece and that people piece if that's an area that you struggle. There's so many things that can be done to help you see things differently than you're seeing them. But I don't like when I see emerging franchisors get like clouded and distracted by, these established franchisors that are way further along. Often they don't even really remember, or the times have changed a little bit for them. But no matter what, the principles of the missteps that franchisors make are still the same, but that often happens, for example, like getting in a wrong franchisee, that often happens because the person feels like they need to hurry and get somebody in. And so they listen more to the fact that they've got to go quickly, and instead of, really properly taking the time to learn who their ideal candidate is and who they're looking for and how to vet them, they bring them in and then they end up with that misstep. So hopefully I'm making any sense or some sense right now. The point is really that as an emerging franchisor, just be really careful. And if you're starting to doubt yourself or feel insecure about your decision-making, it's definitely time to find that trusted advisor that you can work with, even just to get, some initial insights on. Definitely something we recommend at AC Inc., whether that's us or somebody else in your network. Make sure that you're on the right track. I also see a lot of mindset challenges. And I think that people forget that one of the key success factors in franchising is, or business or life in general, is being able to manage your mindset and catch yourself before you start to doubt yourself or have negative thoughts. Because just think, when you don't have those thoughts, how unstoppable you feel. As soon as you start to take that away, it's very risky for everybody. So really good to get that outside trusted set of eyes to help you if that's the stage you're in. Just do maybe a little bit of introspection and do a check-in on yourself. I really hope this was valuable. I'd love to know, because I'm really personally feeling insecure about this rambling I just did. I'm hoping that there was a takeaway in this for you. I think more than anything, I just wanted to get something out there. As I said, doing something is better than nothing. That is a core value we have at AC Inc. Yeah, please do let me know if there's anything that stood out for you, or you need further clarification on something that I said today, and try to take some time to reflect and relax. And then you'll be more set to go be awesome.